Okay.
All right. I think we're dialed in. You in, buddy? Oh, you're in.
I'm in.
All right.
Noise gate works good. Love it.
3, 2, 1.
Hi, I'm Jason.
And I'm Greg.
We are Gen X.
And welcome to
our
our
podcast. We're the last generation to grow up without internet.
Or computers.
We're the last generation that played outside all day.
Until the street lights came on.
We watched cartoons on Saturday mornings.
While reading the cereal box during commercials.
We didn't have cell phones in our pockets.
We shared one house phone.
Growing up over the last 30 plus years, we have learned a few things about life.
Raising kids, losing family, managing money.
Having a professional career, self-care, and much, much more. Each episode, we talk about our experiences as Gen Xers.
Growing up in the 70s and 80s and how our lives have been influenced and shaped today.
We are now hitting our 50s.
And we are still wondering, are we adults yet?
Doubt it.
Some places.
That's okay.
Doubtful. Remember that Magic 8 Ball? That was one of the answers. Doubtful.
Yeah,
Doubtful.
That was rough, dude. That's almost as rough as the "I'm not mad, just disappointed" line.
Doesn't
It's
look
like, oh,
good.
it hurts. Like,
Are we
digs
adults
in
yet?
there.
Doubtful.
Dude, listen to the intro of the phone thing. You had one phone per household. It's like, I remember calling the girl that you like, and it's like, oh, hello, Mr. Ford. Is Sarah home? You know, we're eating dinner.
We're eating
Click. You know, it's like, dang, gatekeepers, you know?
Sick.
Kids
No
don't have that
gatekeepers
nowadays.
anymore.
No.
Nope. Instant access.
didn't
Can
think
I get
about
your
that.
number? Can I get your Instagram?
Yeah,
Can I
get
have
your
all of your
DM?
Can I get your
Pictures.
Snap?
And all of your videos and your contact
Yep.
information. All of that.
Instantly available.
Instantly.
And speaking of social media and instant availability, you guys clicked on the title. So thank you guys for joining us for another week, another episode from your favorite podcast. And I got numbers that prove that some of you really feel this is your favorite podcast.
This is my favorite podcast.
It is my favorite podcast. This
Yes.
is
You
what I
know
listen
what?
to the most.
Definitely.
This is the best podcast in the world. So, I mean, I said it. You guys can now use it as a tagline if you like. I mean,
There it
So
is.
there it is. It's
just put the little hyphen, Tym O'Laughlin.
Tym O'Laughlin. So you guys have noticed that we do have a guest here today, Tym O'Laughlin from Ripon, California. Hey, you know, we kind of grew up in just outside.
We have sound to. There it is right there. Yeah. From Ripon, California.
Let's go.
Not to be confused with Oakdale, bud.
Oh, God, no.
Tym joins us this week. He's a Ripon native. He is, Greg and I, our generation and our group of friends, he is according to the years, he is right around my brother's age. So he's about 10 years younger than us, which puts him just a bit outside of high school with us. But there was a lot of crossover. You know, Tym is very active in the community, in music, and, just around the music scene. And there was a lot of bands. My brother, two of my brothers were involved in local bands. So there was a lot of interaction. There was a lot of overlap. Tym is a part of, of a larger crowd. But tonight, we got Tym out here, and we are going to talk about some YouTube stuff, and not just like YouTubers, like what are they, We're going to get into the business side of things. We're going to get into some structure and like get into deeper. Some of our listeners may, they understand, like folks our age. If you understand that YouTube has kind of taken the place of TV, and then when we were kids, we wanted to be on TV. Well, now everybody can be on TV.
Yeah.
And you can get paid for it.
Yeah, here's your shot.
And so that's what today's kids understand. Today's kids aren't watching Channel 13 or Channel 40 for cartoons on Saturday morning. They're not watching TV. No. They're watching monitors. If it's Wi-Fi, they're watching YouTube. They're not watching local over-the-air
Broadcast
television anymore.
Now you're watching broadcast.
Yeah,
television,
YouTuber
right?
became a noun. Yeah.
Yes. And you can make money out there in the same way that, folks did, back when we were kids, is selling advertisement.
Yeah.
If enough people watch your channel and watch your stuff, you get to a point where people want to start doing business with you. And we'll get into all the details on that. So that's, basically before we all jump right into it, but that's what we're going to talk about tonight. So thank you guys for joining us. Welcome to our first video podcast. So if you're listening to this, what's up,
we can
people?
break the fourth wall, right? We can look at cameras.
Oh, no, please do. Yeah, we're still thinking that we are in audio mode. So this will still be audio. And if you're hearing this in audio, I want you to, as soon as you can, unless you're driving to work, right? Shout out to Mike. Unless you're driving to work, I want you guys to go to YouTube as quickly as possible. like, subscribe, and follow us on YouTube and check out our very first video. So this is Tim. I'm
Howdy.
Jason.
And I'm Greg.
That's Greg. So this is what we look like. There's a few pictures out there on social media. But yeah, this is our first video, and I chose to wear our swag. Boom shaka. Look at this.
I like
The
it.
Gen X shirt.
Our Gen X shirt. This is available. We are selling these. I will put links in the description, right?
in the description.
I start saying that now.
Attaboy, yes.
It's the first time we've said it. There will be links in the description to this. I really have links. I really
So
do.
you used to be able to put links in the comment section, but they took that away for some reason. So the links aren't active in the comment section anymore. So it's a little bit harder to get
description.
people to go to the description because they kind of hid it. So it used to be right under the video, it would have a description, but now you got to click the little
More
thing that says
or something,
more,
yeah.
and then so it's kind of hidden. So
Oh, so they don't even show the first couple lines and then
not anymore.
and then more?
It's
No.
all hidden. So yeah, you used to be able to
Dang.
like the first line you could put like solar like whatever the
Yeah, you
for
could
me,
put
it
a
was-
hook in there.
Yeah, you put the hook there, links right there, so they don't have
Yeah.
to click anything except for the link. But now they got to open it, go to the link, because the thing is, YouTube doesn't want people off platform. They want you to stay on platform.
Yeah, they found that once people leave, they don't come back.
They always come back.
They always come back. So welcome
They're still losing
to.
minutes.
So yeah, watch time.
Watch
We're
time.
gonna get into that, what that means and
Yeah.
what that is and how that calculates and
Yes.
and the milestones for that. After a certain point, you actually get to pick your customized URL. For I think it's 1,000, 100
So-
followers. I think it's 100.
I'd have to double check on that info, and and with the video, you might be able to just screenshot it and slap it up on the screen for the viewers. But it used to be, wait, what was the question again? Exactly.
Custom URL.
Oh, the URL. Yeah, you get that. I think at about 1,000
Was it 1,000?
subscribers, but I know that the threshold has been lowered pretty recently.
Yeah.
But I think it's close to 1,000.
What does that mean? Like YouTube / your name?
Gen X. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can just exactly.
So
Instead of XJU97 and 10
They're
more,
whack.
just
Okay.
a random
Some memory address looking thing.
Yeah.
Got it.
I see.
So welcome to our first video podcast, YouTubers 101, and what a better way to launch our YouTube channel by taking our own advice. So it worked out pretty well to have Tim out here this week, and to be honest with you, Tim sought us out, and I greatly appreciate that. I want to also say that he moved around some birthday plans to be with his here
it's-
tonight. So I appreciate that. So thank you.
You're very
for
welcome.
putting this
You're very
lie
welcome.
up there. So happy birthday to you.
Thank you, sir.
You look
birthday.
probably 22, 23, right?
Yes, I'll take it.
Right.
Right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll take it.
Had some sunlight when probably in your
It's
teen-
in the 80s is when they started putting all the preservatives in the food and stuff. So
Yeah.
it
yes,
contributed
and all
to
the
that.
pasta they
Yeah.
told us to eat.
Yeah, right.
I want to give a shout out to my co-host Greg over there. Greg, what's up, buddy?
What up?
How you doing over there, man?
I'm good, man.
Yeah, tell us something good, bro. What's good? Tell us something.
It was a big week,
Bueno.
bro.
Tell me.
Today was this week was the my 7-year anniversary at my job.
Wow.
7-year milestone. I worked for the company for 7 years and 1 day, and then I converted them into a client for my company that I started 1 year ago this week.
Right.
And now they're one of my largest clients in my marketing company. And I do their marketing through my business from home now.
Fantastic.
I don't I clocked out for the last time on Thursday. That is something good.
That is something that's amazing. So,
Yeah.
our faithfuls have been following us, and you guys are catching episodes here. And you guys remember that Greg had started this side hustle. He wanted to build something that was him, his legacy, his imprint, something that that was him, right? And something to take him on into the end, the later years, and be able to live the life like he wants to, right? So he realized he had to build that himself. So you guys remember, every couple of episodes we'll check in on that. And so I want to point out that it started a year ago, and he just now was he's hustled 2 jobs, 2.5, 3 jobs, right? Because working for yourself, you're on the clock 24/7, right?
Yeah,
And you're managing things, plus still managing a full-time job to the capacity, that your name says. You're still doing 100% there, right? So you've been able to build it to where you've kind of like untethered from the dock. You've now you're going to go float out in your boat
From
that
the
you built
workforce part of it. Yeah.
and head out into the big world of self-employment, man. And
This was the first time I had clocked in. Like, I've been on a salaried job for a long time.
Right.
So this was the first time I was really like having my minutes counted at a job. So I always felt like if I wasn't working, I wasn't getting paid. So there's always been this stress around not being at work or waking up in the morning and having to get there as soon as I can to get on the clock.
Yeah.
Because once I clocked in, I go take a shit. Like, I can relax and stuff, dude. But I wanted to wake up and get there as fast as possible.
Yeah.
So that's just been 7 years of my life of trying to get, because they open at 6 a.m., they close at 4. They're locking the doors. You can only get 9-10 hours a day.
What type of work was it?
I mean, I'm doing marketing, but it's a manufacturing company.
Oh, okay.
We make all kinds of mowers and mulchers and stuff like that for different types of equipment. But I do the marketing, graphic design, websites.
So you did it, man. You
T-shirts and hats and all that stuff.
now is the perfect time. Now we're talking YouTube. Start documenting that, bro. I mean,
Right.
Even if you upload them to YouTube and leave them private and don't show them to anybody, just so you can go back and be like, damn, you know, like,
Right. This is
where
when
I
we
came
started.
from, bro. You know,
Yeah. The company 10 years from now.
it's just your bookshelf of VHSs, but now it's on YouTube and it's.
Yeah. I have a bunch of VHSs.
I did, and I got married, and you know how that goes. I caved on my VHSs, and you know what sucks, dude. To be honest with you,
Put them in a box.
DVDs. I got boxes and boxes.
They're
of records,
worth
so
money.
Kept the
now.
records.
Collectors are coming after them now.
Fair.
The thing is, a lot of the stuff. So now everything's available, but not everything's available. You know, so there's a lot of what was one the recent. I can't think of the title of it recently, but there's some that are tied up in like licensing issues because a certain studio produced it with whatever like contract in place, but then got bought by Columbia, and then Columbia broke it off into some other little, what is it, like district films or whatever, you know? So it's like, and a lot of those things are only available on DVD now if you really want to watch them. You can't just type it in and watch it. You might be able to find like a bootleg on YouTube or something like that, or torrent or whatever, but it's just interesting. So I'm like, shit, I had that, you know? I had like multiple, like I was the neighborhood rental guy, you know, I'd be like, yeah, you know, I'd write their name down. It was free. I'm like, you know, but if you don't, you cut off. If you never bring the shit back, you're done skis, you know. But I had hundreds of them, and now I'm just like, man, I feel so bad I didn't hang on to them, because now I'm finding out that it's like, because at the time you don't know, dude. You're like, oh yeah, everything's gonna be online.
Yeah.
It's like whatever, but now it's just like, it's a
No,
bummer.
try and find it.
Yeah, you can't find
If
it.
everything's out there,
Collectors are
try and
coming
find
after
it.
it now.
Find it.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
hard. It's
Yeah.
hard. You got to have somebody dedicated enough to have it and have the wherewithal to upload it to the internet, you know, and share it. And I'm that guy, but I can't find it.
Right.
I would.
I would.
I want to give a shout out to all of our listeners and viewers.
What's up?
We hit a fat surge in popularity last weekend on a Saturday, which was odd because our most popular day is the day we launch, and then it kind of tapers, and then I'll promote a few times, you know, on Facebook and social media. It'll
Yeah,
you know,
that's like the last day of the week.
right.
In our week, right.
And we had, for some reason, we had a record single day
Yeah.
on Saturday. Yeah,
Sick.
we had a record number of listeners and a record number of single day downloads or listens. You know what I mean? So
Awesome.
I was like, "What the hell's going on?" I didn't post on social media yet. You know what I mean? So I posted and stuff, but
It's organic.
it hit, and then it rode for a few days, and then it comes down to, you know, the regular operating level, right? And then we stay there, and it's pretty consistent, right? So it was neat. I mean,
So
it was
when I
like,
see a
cool.
chart
Love
like
it.
that on YouTube, it's what it is the platform's testing it out, right? So when you see those little surges and then it plateau and then kind of go back down, it's testing different audiences.
They're putting you in a feed.
So that's a good thing. If you see it go like that and then kind of plateau, that means they're not pushing it out, but they're like, I mean, you know, it's not, nobody's doing it, right?
It's
But
algorithm.
it's
Yeah.
but it's happening. So they're kind of figuring out, okay, this had this crowd group of whatever 18 to 45 males or whatever, like watch the whole video. So now I'm gonna send it out to like,
45 to 65 males.
oh, is that the
It's
demo?
a huge chunk of our demos.
How
right?
funny, dude. Well, that's
Imagine
good.
that.
Of the people who create accounts and are factual with their information.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know what I
yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Well,
So
I'm not usually.
no.
No, my name's George Washington. a lot of the
whenever they
times.
sign me up for reward programs, I like to just make up a day, you know, random, because then throughout the year you just get like the random happy birthday is $5 off or whatever. So
Yeah.
it's like
Oh,
my
yeah.
little life hack. So just
Yeah.
randomly I'm like, oh cool, they sent me $10, you know.
make up random birthdays.
Yeah, just whenever time they ask, just give them a random one. Little surprises throughout the year.
So once again, shout out to all of our listeners out there. We have gained a ton, and if this is your first listen or second listen, thank you guys for joining and tuning in and spending the next hour or so with us. This week, we're going to jump into the whole YouTube side of things, the business side of things, how to build it, and not click for click, but the idea behind it, what you should be aiming for, so you can navigate in that direction, right? So before we begin, I want to throw out this hidden banger out there, and this one comes from our co-host over there. It comes out excuse me, this one comes from our guest Tim. The next one comes from our co-host Greg. This one comes from our guest Tim. Tim, what is it? What are we listening to? What is this? Tell us everything about this.
So this was my last arrow in regards to like tackling another punk band in my 40s, you know. So I was in a hip hop group for a while, but I kind of got burnt out on that.
That was bonus tracks?
Bonus tracks, you know, and that was
2
fun.
X's.
So the same drummer, we were talking how much we miss being in a punk band, and I had like some material that I just hadn't shown anybody. So we got Chris Frankel play guitar, and then Barry Carpini to play drums. Arguably the best freaking musician, like the best drummer, the best guitar, and the best bass player probably in like 100-mile radius. Like literally, I was so spoiled. Took some convincing to get the bass player to do it because he was in bigger bands and traveled, and he had some kind of weird, he got rubbed the wrong way by music in general. So I kind of had to convince him, you know, to let's just try it out, see what happens. And then this happened, and it was a fun ride. And it got real hard around COVID time to really like be in a band, and it was kind of confusing. And I was one of the only ones that was like realizing that the internet was the way that we needed to kind of embrace it, but nobody really like. To be fair, like they have kids and families and careers and stuff going on too, and they're not so freaking ADD brain like me, and I just like I'm all in, you know. So eventually we just kind of broke up and didn't really do nothing big, but this is probably my favorite band that I've ever been in because the music is it's the best shit I've ever made, dude, for real. It really is. So
And this is you on vocals.
Yeah, this is me on vocals, yeah.
So Terrible Timing is the name. Save Yourself is the track.
Yeah.
Awesome. You guys can find this out there on YouTube. Terrible Timing. Track title is Save Yourself. And that's got yours truly, Tim, sit there on lead vocals.
All ripping kids.
All ripping kids. Yeah, I know Chris, but I didn't recognize.
So Barry played bass for Blast Bandits, and then he ended up playing bass for Link 80.
Yeah.
And now he's playing bass for ska band Omnigon with the old guitarist from Link 80.
Got it.
So
okay, well, shout out to all those guys, those ripping crew out there, doing it big out there,
doing it big,
the music scene. I
chasing
remember
the dream.
Yeah, you know, the music scene way early in the '90s, late '90s, mid to late '90s, right?
Yeah, there was so much music going on back then. It's crazy.
Loved it. This week's guest is a hometown local famous guy, Tym O'Laughlin. Thank you again for being here. Thank you again for moving some stuff around to be here with us and making all this work. So Tim reached out to my brother and, you know, said, hey, you know, your brother's got some stuff going on. I'd like to, you know, get a hold of him. Let me get his number. And so Tim got my number, reached out. We started talking, and it turns out that Tim is just as excited to build YouTube stuff as Greg and I are. So it was a good match. I'm glad that you followed that gut instinct and pulled the trigger on that. And so here we are, our first video, our very first one. And we have the guy on here from our local town who already has a huge online presence. Now, it's not just I've posted a bunch of videos of me doing cool stuff. There's some business stuff going on. There is some revenue generated. There's a business side. There's a structure. And it's not just, you know, hey, look at me, eat this sandwich. It's although those, you know, done.
Not that there's anything wrong with it.
Those are also businesses.
But when it's run like a business, it could generate revenue, and that's the part we're here to talk about tonight. Of course, it's going to be fun, and of course, we're going to get into all the cool stuff. But this is the money side of things, right? So we call this one YouTube 101. We're not going to talk about how to shoot a video and upload it and go, oh, you have a YouTube channel here, share the link.
Oh, so it's more to the kind of thoughts, the thought behind it, the way I attacked it, I guess.
Right. Correct.
What I wanted to get out of it and what I've learned and what I would say to people that want to start, because I wish I could start over knowing what I know now.
Yeah, right. Would have been a lot faster, huh?
Right.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever been on TV?
Yes. The one time I remember there was bats at CVS or Long's in Ripon. They were like so I was on the news or whatever, but that's
Did you talk? Did they interview you?
Yeah, and you know what was trippy about that experience? I was not expecting. So some chick comes up to me. She's like, "Hey, I'm with the news, and that we heard that there was bats in the store." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, there's been bats in the store." Everybody, it's like the whole town knows. And she's like, "Oh, would you be willing to say something on camera?" And I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Okay." She's like, "Hi, so I'm here." She does the whole newscast, and I was thrown off, dude. And I was just
change his voice.
Yeah, and I didn't know what to do. I was so caught off guard. I was like, "Yeah, there's bats here, whatever." I don't even know. I was just tripping. I was like, "Holy shit, she did a 180, dude, real quick."
Got you right there.
So yeah,
that's funny.
That sticks out.
You ever been on TV?
I don't think so.
I was on TV one time. It was an accident. It was the Boys and Girls Club in Manteca. There was some function happening. There was a bunch of people there happening outside and stuff. And there was a TV crew there. And I happened to be there with my buddy. We were just walking around, but I was walking around in a certain spot long enough. I was in the background, pretty close. I didn't realize that the TV, I wasn't, because I would have been.
Oh, so you didn't even realize?
No, I would have been 100% doing all the bad stuff.
Yeah,
I would have, right? So, but I didn't know, right? The only thing that sucked about it was the day after that we went to a party or a dance at school, and me and my friend Larry, shout out to Larry, his mom took us over to his grandma's house, and she did our hair like a 50s greaser.
Oh,
right?
sick.
Because she was, that era. That was her era, right? So we went over there, but they put Vaseline in my hair.
Oh yeah.
And they used the comb. They gave me not like a whatever pompadour.
Yeah.
And whatever my
Elvis.
hair could do, was up on the side, down in the front, whatever, all that stuff. And I went to school, 50s greaser, whatever, yada yada. The next day, you know how hard it is to wash Vaseline out of your hair?
Oh yeah, dude.
So my hair was still slickery.
Did you end up
and wet
breaking out
looking.
too?
I don't remember. I don't think so, but it took forever and it looked wet and oily forever.
Yeah,
So
forever.
I had this nasty, oily, long hair. I don't think I was wearing a shirt because I never wore a shirt as a kid, right? Shorts and probably no shoes or.
She just a little oily.
Yeah.
Pig pen running around.
Yeah, it's a little pig pen running around. But yeah, so I was on TV. So anyways, the point of that is, like we were talking about a minute ago, we have a chance to be on TV again. And that's the point I want to drive home. It's not just
The barrier to entry is in your pocket,
He's got it, right? So I want to jump in. And first, I want to hear a little bit about you, kind of where you're from, a little bit, what you did before the YouTube stuff, and what kind of really sat with you enough to pull the trigger and jump into this.
So I think, it's funny, think back on your story,
Right.
And it's I don't know how it all kind of what order it all kind of happened, but a roundabout way was I've always been interested in making shit, obviously, I've been in bands and make art and stuff. And once the Instagrams and YouTube started to come around, I didn't fucking get it. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Why would people just want to put pictures of themselves up, And so at that time too, my wife was going to school to be a nurse, and we had a kid who was sick a lot. She was born with some stuff. So we're in and out of the hospital. So I worked pretty much full time. She just went to school. So I didn't really have time to kind of set aside to learn that stuff or whatever. So years and years go by. Well, my wife finally finished the school. Now she's working. So instead of her going to the hospital for the week or whatever, I have to go now. So I remember one time, and I think it maybe was all happening at the same time because I was in that band at the time, and I was like, we need to figure out the internet, dude. We got to figure this out. We need to make music videos. But they're like, oh, well, we got to get this super good camera, and then we got to hire. I'm like, oh, we don't have to do that, So I'm sitting at the hospital. My daughter's there. I probably sat there to be for about a week there. So I'm like, fuck, what am I going to do? I could do whatever I want right now. It's crazy. All these years I've been like, oh, I wish I had the time. Must be nice. All the times I'm jaded to somebody else doing what I want to be doing, you know? And I'm like, well, now's the, I could do it. So what do I really want to like do? And I'm scrolling YouTube and watching it, and I'm just like, finally it clicks. I'm like, how are these people making money? Because you finally stumble across Mr. Beast, and like, and this was, I guess, 2018 was right when I kind of started like having the time to really like try to figure what would I want to do, you know? And just like we were talking about before, I was like, just Googled it, how to make money on YouTube, how to make money online. And I just started following the rules, you know, it's like find a niche, and I didn't really know what my niche was. So while I was doing a lot of records. Like I was saying, I collect records and stuff. So I pretty much knew my record collection really well. And I seen that like vinyl was getting really popular again. So I started eBay store, and then the YouTube thing's there, and I could never decide like what would I do? What's my niche? What's my niche? What's my niche? I could never think of anything, you know? And so I'm like, well, shit, I think I got this eBay stuff pretty dialed in. And like, I know my shit when it comes to records, so I'm just going to do that, you know? So I started with that. And then, bro, like it just, I got shiny object syndrome too. So it's just like, got bored with that. So I'm like, now what's the next fucking move? So then the vending machine like niche was growing. So I'm seeing all these numbers, like these guys get 100,000 views. All they're doing is putting soda in the machine and collecting the money, and that's it. It's like, well, I'm going to go buy some fucking vending machines then, I guess. So I bought like 5 used vending machines. And I documented that whole, like I was saying earlier, document. So my whole goal when I did start was like, all right, I'm just going to document. Because I don't know if it was Gary Vee or one of those guys, you know, that you're watching during that period of your entrepreneurial like journey. He's just like, you know, don't focus on creating like the perfect video or the editing. Just document.
Just film everything.
That's Gary Vee, yeah.
Yeah, just document it. So that's kind of was the goal. I'm just going to document it, whatever. And then I just grew a really good audience. And then I was able to travel. So I like, there was a few guys down in LA area, you know, and we started hitting them up like, hey,
Other channels.
Other YouTube channels. Yeah.
That were doing the same niche as you?
They were running vending machine. So I started a vending machine business to make videos for YouTube. These guys started a vending machine business to make a living, and like filmed themselves one day, and they're like, oh shit, it got hella views. So they just made another video, and then another one. And then the whole community started seeing it. So it was like, I was just a dude, but I just made friends with these guys. I started talking to them, hitting them up, asking them, hey, on your YouTube channel, how do you do this? And like, oh yeah. And then we ended up starting like a little group. And I'm like, hey, would you guys be willing to collab? You know, I'll come down. And they're like, yeah. So I just freaking started going down to these big channels and collabing. I just do ride-alongs, ask them, you know, how do you start?
And these are guys who live in just a house with a garage converted or a kitchen or a...
Yeah, it's just they're just dudes like, you know, us. And instead of,
you're not walking into a corporate building. You're not walking into...
No, not at all. These are just they got their garage, got 2 or 3 like snack machines in there that they're working on fixing or whatever. And then once a month they just go drive out to their route, hit all their locations, collect the money, refill it, and go. It's a pretty good business. You know, the margins are very small, but if you have enough machines and if you pick your locations right, you could really make a lot of money. So that was this kind of like, I'm already going into that mode, like starting to teach it. But it's like, so that's what I started teaching that.
Yeah.
And then I met a friend who was also he's in Louisiana. He had like a little, like a snow cone, like a trailer, you know, go out, do like birthday parties or baseball games, whatever, and sell the snow cones. But he also did vending machines, but then he also did pressure washing on the side. So he lives in Louisiana, and over there they have the I can't think of the technical term, but the black moss that grows on the roofs and stuff, right? So I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, but in Louisiana, the driveways, it's always moist and just humid there. Yeah. That they have, it's called Magnum opus capsicum or some kind of like growth. It grows on porous surfaces. So like the shingles on a roof will grow this stuff real heavy, and then the driveway. So these folks that got money over there, like, well, I want my driveway clean. There's a big market in pressure washing, dude. It's pretty crazy. So he ditched the snow cone business and the vending machine business. And we had become friends because through the vending, you know, we started talking back and forth. Turns out he made music, I made music. I'd give him some beats for his videos. He'd give me songs for my videos. That's kind of how the relationship developed. But then he started building these online training courses for how to start a pressure washing business. You know, It's like, hey, for $500, you can make like 10 grand a month, dude. This is how to do it. And he's not lying. Like, it's for real. Like, you could do that, right? And so, I was doing my channel, and I have 2 channels. So my Tym O'Laughlin channel is what I've been talking to up to this point. So this point, he's like, you need to start documenting the painting. And I'm like, dude, the niche is blown out. Like there's the Idaho painter who's got that shit locked down. Like all that, you know, he's the guy, you know? And he's like, dude, I'm telling you, just start. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know. What's my angle? You know, what's my angle? Because the how-tos, I'm not going to get no fucking traffic on a how-to. I'm competing with like 100 other fucking channels, you know? So like, he's like, let's do what I did. So it's just like, people always want to know, how do you price your jobs and how do you get your jobs? So that was just like, okay, that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to tell people how I do it.
The business side, not the technical painting side.
Like, this isn't how to do it. This is how I do it.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like, if you, and I'm showing proof of me doing it. So it's like, here's the video at 1600 speed behind me. And I'm just explaining an interaction with the shitty customer, what to do if a customer doesn't pay you, how to set up your contracts, how to like show your customer the value in the warranty that they're never going to fucking need, but they'll pay that extra 15% on the tag because they got some peace of mind. How to like build rapport with somebody when you first meet them, how to like get them to say yes 3 times before you ask, are you willing to do business with us today? You know, like shit like that, create urgent senses of urgency, like all that stuff. Nobody was talking about that shit. So I'm like, fuck, that's my niche, you know? But he helped me realize, like, because all that stuff was in my head and I was doing, I didn't know what all the little labels and names for all the little shit I was doing.
Yeah.
I was just doing it naturally.
He's like, that's called this. That's actually a technique.
And it started back with fucking painting addresses on curbs, which your nephew's doing now.
Dude, he's killing
Which
it.
I'm curious if you've seen my video, because I made a video on that too.
He's killing it.
Yo, it's amazing, dude.
He's killing it. Oh my God. They made him a Facebook page and they started sharing it and it blew up. There's like 3 or 4 of my friends hit him up, and there's a couple of Modesto, of course.
Dude.
My curb's up for sale, you know, up for bid right now. You know what I mean? And
no, it's dude, he needs to
just
be
turned
filming.
14.
He needs to start a TikTok on that shit, dude, because he could just. I mean,
I've seen guys who do that. I've seen guys who film their how they lay out the stencils and do the layers.
I have a video. You could pull it. I mean, you could put it up on the screen if you want. I mean, a clip of it while we're talking. I mean, if you go to Tym O'Laughlin, like I think I put like painting curbs. If you type in Tym O'Laughlin painting curbs, it'll come up. But that's on I call it my second channel, even though it was my first channel, because it kind of plateaued at 8,000 because I started focusing on that paint channel.
Right.
But I have my 1,000 fans on my original channel. Even though I got like 130,000 on the painting channel, they're no real diehard friends, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But on my personal channel, I got people like check in, like when I upload, they're like, "Oh fuck, where you been?" You know.
Yeah,
But like
right.
on the other one, it's mostly just people saying, "Oh, that's not how you're supposed to do that," or "You're an idiot. You should be having harnessed off," or you know, it's those
Right,
clowns, you know,
Tell
which
you how to do it.
help engagement. So I like to pronounce things wrong just to get them in the comments saying, "You know, you're fucking not supposed to pronounce it like that," or just
Make
little
mistakes on purpose.
to get engagement. You
Yep.
know? So I'm gonna do mine first, and then we're gonna cruise my neighborhood and see if we can't make some money. I'm curious if your nephew's seen this or not, because I met some other, because one of Emma's friends were doing it too, and I was like, "Hey, dude, did you?" He's like, "I seen your video when I was looking it up." I'm like, "You did?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "I'll give you all my stuff." So I already gave all my little kid away already once to a youngster. See how it goes, and then we'll see how much money we can make. Stick around, subscribe if you haven't already, if you want to. All right.
if you want
This
to.
is the kind of shit I wish my kids
So
would
how old
watch.
is this video?
3 years ago.
So yeah, 3 years ago, I was teaching the youngsters of today how to just get out there and make money with $10. You got $10? I'm gonna show you how to go make $100, dude. You know what I mean? Just go do 5 curbs, dude. You could do that after school, before dinner. You know what I mean? The kids in my neighborhood aren't trying to hear me, dude, you know?
No.
But once they see the plaque, they're like, "Oh, okay, ears are open," you know? It's a trip.
Because that validates you.
I got some street cred now
You do.
with the youngsters.
You do.
know?
All
So-
right.
That's funny.
So you started doing this stuff, one, not out of boredom, but out of like available time, right? So you did some crash courses or, you know, some
Google's deep
what
dives.
was it? Brainstorming, right?
Yeah, there you go.
And started, you know, and just kind of committed to one. You just picked one and we just went with it.
Yeah.
It lived, and then the next one. It lived, and then. So you've built. So you have a formula for getting traction out there. You
Yeah.
have an understanding of it's not just, you know, I'm a pretty face. There's effective content in there. And
I mean, let's be honest, I got a face for radio, but you're very kind.
I'm watching the video. I haven't seen your face yet, so you keep it.
See how I do?
Like I'm just feet.
That's right.
I'm just feet and hands.
so beginners, right? So we're going to have some content, and we're going to start developing this. And so you were talking about things to have in mind as you move forward. What are some of like the lessons that you just learned? Some of that, that paid for content stuff that you have on paywalls and
of
shit.
Course, of course. So you're already doing a lot of it. You've already just with the title, the branding, you already have like a clear path right ahead. I didn't really have a path. So I think if I could go back, I would pick something that I really love. Cause I don't love painting. I don't love vending, I should have been putting all this time into promoting my music with these platforms, but I'm just now starting to do that, So I think the best advice I could give anybody if they're first starting out is figuring out why you want to do it. Do you want to do it because you want to make money, or do you want to do it for exposure?
Right.
What is the reasoning behind it? Because that'll tell you what kind of how you would approach it. So
money.
If you're doing it for money, then I think you're doing it already right. Get some episodes in the bank,
right,
for sure, before you start uploading, because you start feeling that pressure and you commit to the weekly upload. Well, shit happens, and sometimes you can't make it happen. Your computer might crash, and some people, faithfuls, they're gonna stick around no matter what. But some people will get jaded on that shit. Like, oh fuck, he's inconsistent, or whatever. Another thing I would suggest, which we're doing that now, is don't sweat the small stuff.
Right.
I mean, we're shooting this on GoPros, 6-year-old GoPros. It's most people are going to be watching on their phone, and that helps when you determine what type of content you want to make. If you're doing vlog content, then you might want to go get your drone. You know what I mean? Get some music licensing and stuff like that. But my best advice to beginners, and you've probably already heard it, is just to start, because you're going to learn more just digging in and getting there. And your audience is going to be super forgiving, because they're going to watch you grow. And that's part of that as well, right? So if you came out super polished, you'd probably have less people checking in weekly, and more people just check in when it hits their page. Oh, okay, this is of interest of me. Whereas because I've been watching some YouTubers now that are huge, and right, it's I've been following them the whole time. It's cool. It's finding that cool band.
Yeah,
that
it's
no one
being
heard
on the
of.
journey. I knew them when they were nobody, man.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's what I kind of attribute it to. Yep. It's when you knew those cool underground, you're like, hey, you can have this, but give it back, or I'll make you a tape, or it's kind of like that. So there's some value in just having it out there, and then obviously the money will come. I think if I could go back, one big thing, I wouldn't seek ad revenue as much, because it seemed like ad revenue was the finish line. But now I'm realizing that, so I was censoring myself for years and years and years, which I don't mind doing. I'm a salesman, I'm in the service industry. I've been censoring myself my whole fucking life, which is why I love creating music and art, because it's a way for that shit to get out, so I don't feel like a fucking phony. But I wish, because you get more real people, when you're just being yourself. So it's how do I say this? So I used to have buddies that would have girlfriends, and we're fucking stoners and drug addicts when we were younger, right? Not the super hard stuff, but you know what I'm saying, the good stuff. So
not the hard stuff.
We got a buddy, he's
stuff.
I can't smoke weed because my old lady and and I'm like, that bitch don't love you. And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, she don't even know you. How is she going to love you? You smoke weed every day with me. Every day we're smoking weed, and she don't know you smoke weed. You know what I mean? So I'm just why would you want, it's not even you. Your life revolves around weed, bro. How could you see yourself being happy? You know what I mean? So I don't know. That's a bad example, but I just think be yourself, because then you never have to compromise in the future when it's oh fuck, I don't know. I don't know really how to explain it, but the sponsors will come. You got, if you're cussing on your stuff, it used to be, oh, don't do that because you're going to limit your revenue possibilities. But no way. There's some companies that are oh, this is my demographic.
Yeah, you're raw.
People that like F words and, whatever else, are those are the people that buy my shit. So I'm going to sponsor this podcast, this 100%. Video, this whatever, Right. So I think that'd be the biggest thing. Just make sure you're not really compromising yourself. I mean, censorship, is touchy, but if it's to make more money and you're happy doing it, and it's just a matter of like language and not really, you know, like yourself, I would say do it, you know?
So let's say my buddy has an idea. It's like, all right, I got this idea. I could talk about this. I'm a welder, and I don't want to just show off welds, but I've learned some really good stuff from some really good people over the years. I've been a go-to for a long time. I got some techniques, right? So he's going to want to go like the documentary, the how-to stuff, right? So I have a phone. I have a welder in my garage. What do I do next?
So, the welder should get a tripod, but you don't need one. Set that fucking camera up somewhere where it can see you working.
Lean your phone against something.
Yeah, seriously, you know, and just record yourself doing that and speed that up. Say it's an hour-long thing, speed it up to where it's only 5 minutes long, and just tell a story about how somebody cut you off in traffic. Don't even fucking talk about welding. Just show the people that want to see we're watching rug cleaners and bushcraft. Are we fucking going to go live out in the woods?
I do watch a lot of rug cleaners.
The guy that makes those mud huts that are super sick.
Shit.
Yeah, dude, they're so badass.
They're not even in English.
Yeah, they're not even in English.
They're not even in English.
Doesn't even
Those guys who dig out of the red
You're
dirt
just
with
straight
a stick.
watching technique. Yeah.
Everybody loves a good story, dude. Everybody loves a good
that.
story. Not everybody loves being talked at, right? So
Yeah.
it's like, this is how you do this. This is how you do this. Because what's going to happen is you're going to be like, you motherfucking idiot. Like, I've been doing this for 30 years. You should be doing,
You should be using the...
you know, but in reality, what I'm seeing lately is like, it really doesn't matter. And my buddy Justin kind of taught me that too. He's like, just tell like, he's like, because I'll be like, I don't know a topic. Like I'm running out of talk. I'm just redoing topics, like what to do if a customer doesn't pay or no, you know, like, he's like, just talk about what was like your worst customer you ever had. And I'm like, oh, dude. And he's like, stop, record it. I'm like, oh, okay. I get it now. You know? So it's like anything. I mean, and then you just do your pitch at the end or your plug or whatever. But like more people gravitate and stay for a story versus a lesson.
100%.
Right. Yeah, I get that.
Yep.
All right. So I have my phone. I have my little buzz box set up. I have the videos recording. I'm telling about how I decided to be a welder, and I'm showing this really fancy weld with this difficult material under these really extreme conditions, right?
Yeah.
You know, maybe I could
Underwater titanium welding.
in the dark.
Yes.
In the dark.
Overhead.
With no goggles.
With one arm tied behind my back.
Yes. Okay. So, you know, so I'm showing, you know, they got the thing set up, and then I have a phone full of videos. I assume I would navigate over to youtube.com. There's a login, there's a create, there's a
But how do I do all those cuts and like editing and speed up video? Now I have to become a sick video editor guy too.
No, man. So I wouldn't even do all that. I would just download whatever free app is available. It's going to have a watermark on it, but once you save it, you could just push in on the frame a little bit. Watermark's gone. And those are so, I mean, if you could, I mean, I feel like everybody knows how to splice something and cut it nowadays. You know what I mean? It's just a point.
with the
and click.
apps out there, you can do it right on your phone.
You could do it right on your, and I built that first channel was purely all on my phone on a $27 app that I bought. And people are going, what do you edit on? What do you edit on? What do you edit on? So I hit the company up.
That's such a big question.
Yeah. I'm like, just pick one.
So
I mean,
there's
just
an
pick one.
episode. How I edit.
Have you
my
done
videos.
any of the videos about the production end of the videos?
See, that's what I don't do, but I feel like I would like to do that. But my thing is, like, I've started like 6 channels. So
There's a lot of guys doing that too.
and
So
that's the thing, you know? So
there's a
it's
lot of
already out
competition
there.
in that
And
space.
a lot of it, the apps are pretty powerful nowadays. So I had started out with a pretty basic one, and they don't do it as much anymore. But it used to be like you pay a one-time fee and you kind of get all the updates, like a lifetime license to use that thing. But so I bought the lifetime light. They don't even offer it anymore. So I think I paid like $28 for it. And recently someone was like, what's that one you used to use on your phone? They're like, it's $50. I'm like, well, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. You know,
a
like,
month.
and, oh yeah, it was like $50, and then plus like you had to buy like all the extra shit that you wanted. You know, it was like a light
all
version,
the add-ons.
You know? But I mean, really, the barrier entry is so low, and everybody fucking hears it. But if you really want it, it's so easy to do. I mean, the way that I learned how to edit was, fortunately for me, I had experience with audio because I've been in music so long. So it was a very easy transition into video because I kind of already knew.
Yeah, it makes sense.
It was just very this transferable skills for sure in that regard. But
There's a YouTube video for it.
I mean, I've taught some knuckleheads how to do it, and there's a YouTube video for it. It's very true.
So no matter what app you have, no matter what platform you're going to use, there's a YouTube video for it. And that's the beauty of why what you're going to make or what you make or what I make is going to work. And it's the Gary V mindset, like you were describing earlier. Follow your passion. Your people will find you.
And even if they don't find you, you're fucking following your passion. It's like a win-win.
I watch people clean fucking rugs in a language I don't understand.
Yeah.
Or like you said, you're documenting stories for your own
for
later.
Yeah, for later.
For whatever. They're like your stack of VHSs that guys used to have, or 8mm
bullshitting with your DJ
tapes.
buddies, and you're like, oh man, I fucking did this one. Matter of fact, check it out.
Boom.
Here's the whole condensed 3-minute version of my 6-hour sickest event I've ever been at. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, that's what I would say.
So I have my videos. I have 10 now. I've uploaded them. I followed all the advice. I've watched a few videos on how to upload. I've nailed that part. I have my little hashtags and my descriptions in place. And now I have 10 videos. How do I tell the world I have 10 videos?
So that's probably where you want to use, obviously, this platform here. But that's where you can really utilize Facebook and Instagram, because from there, you could boost posts. So if you can highlight like some of the funny moments that you've had, or some,
so you want to make short form content out of all the long form stuff, right?
Absolutely, dude. And on YouTube, the cool thing, they just implemented this not too long ago, is on all short form content, there's a little line there that'll redirect you to the full length video.
Oh, right.
It wasn't like that before. It was like you could put a link, but it's hard to find a link on a short. So now they actually have it right below like the title shit. There's a little arrow, and that if you click that, it'll take you.
Okay.
So that's what I'm doing right now with older videos. I'm pulling up my older videos, finding like a topic inside that, like a short, whatever, chop it up. I slap the fucking font on the front of it, you know, and then like.
Then they let you launch that as a reel.
And if they're talking about Kobe Bryant, I throw up a little picture of Kobe Bryant real fast, flashes on the screen for a second, you know, and then that's a reel. And on short, they just call it shorts on YouTube.
Or shorts, yeah.
And YouTube is not, like I was talking earlier, they're not promoting reposted stuff or stitches anymore. They're not. Let me rephrase. They're not promoting. They're not going to push that out.
They're at least trying it out right now to see how it works. If it,
So, I mean, they're making money on it, the views, you know.
Yeah.
But I think what's happening is the people buying ads are like, I'm not interested in buying ads on this. I don't care, because it's like the data on the shorts isn't as readily available as like TikTok's got it dialed for that in that regard, you know.
Yeah.
But YouTube still, they're kind of late to the game on the shorts thing, and they haven't quite got it dialed in. So they can't pull as much data from shorts like they can for the full length content.
Right.
There's not a lot of room for advertising in the shorts.
Exactly.
Or people don't tolerate it as well.
Well, I see it.
I don't know how TikTok gets away with it. They try to hide ads, but they're not good at it.
And that's why I say, like, if I could go back, I would just focus on the sponsored shit and not have to worry about the stupid ad placements, you know, because it's like, do you want us to put ads on your shit? No. Fuck no.
Right.
I don't want my people to have to watch the ads, because I'm getting my dude wipes are giving me $10,000 to fucking post 10 videos this year or whatever. You know? And then I also got fucking, I can't think of any brands off the top, like Jackery, because I do hiking videos. So they're going to give me free equipment and they're going to give me $10,000. So now it's $20,000 I'm making this year just on video production. I'm only required to put 2 videos up, one for each sponsor, you know, and everything else is filler. I can run ads on that if I want. There's so much strategy to it, you know, and I'm constantly playing around with it. And I will say, like, being able to pivot, because it's constantly changing. The landscape is changing. The rules constantly change. The algorithms constantly change. So you got to be able to pivot, or else you will just kind of die. You know, the channel will
just squeeze you right out of the river, huh?
I do all the social stuff and things like that for a lot of companies, and it's always changing. If you don't keep up with it,
constantly changing.
You're gonna die. Google ads and stuff like that.
But I like
this whole year, we had to change everything with Google. The way you integrate analytics in a website is all changed. The way Google ads completely changed. We had to rewrite everything this year.
Same thing with our company. Our company is set up to just collect our own cookies. They're gonna start doing their own, because it's not gonna be it's not a interest like based anymore. Now it's like I forget how to explain it. exactly what's going on. But yeah, we dealt with the same thing with Google. They're like, everything's fucking changed.
Everything's changing.
Phones are ringing off the hook one day. Next day, phone's not ringing. What the fuck happened?
Yeah, what happened?
And it's like they quit doing like tracking with cookies, or they kept storing. I don't know. It's confused. It's out of my
third-party cookies or something like that.
It's like
I can't keep up with
my
any
pay
of that.
grade. Yeah,
exactly.
I just watch the algorithm and be like, okay, I see what's going on.
Yeah,
I'll just figure it out.
Figure it out.
So I have a bunch of videos. I am promoting. I am connecting with other channels, similar content, and we are cross promoting. I'm commenting on their stuff. People are seeing me in the comments. They're checking my stuff, or maybe I'm mentioning them now. Maybe they're mentioning us. There's some collaboration, like you were saying. You have traveled, I think you said, to L.A. and back down south. Back
yeah, L.A., right? Louisiana, Florida.
So you went out and collabed, shot videos. So now they're speaking about you in their circle, and vice versa.
Yeah.
You're getting all this out there, right?
Kind of like what you guys are doing. So you're getting more guests, and the guests are like, "Hey, I'm on a podcast." Wait, what? You're on a podcast?
Yeah, all your friends are
check it
listen.
out.
Yeah, and then
and it's good. And so then it's like, hey, fucking, Schmo's brothers it's fucking pretty good, dude.
Yeah,
that's what I've been saying. I'm like, this is fucking pretty good, dude.
It's pretty fucking good.
Speaking of being,
there's so much
40s,
cool shit.
Can I use the bathroom?
Hey, so just a quick summary. YouTube 101. It is now possible for anybody to be on TV. And I mean television because it is actually bigger than television. There's a lot more people on YouTube than I would say TV back in our day, right? What I mean that is that our TV we had network television, which was, across our nation, but most of our television as kids came from a local station. Ours came out of Sacramento, California, a little bit from the Bay Area. There was one down in Fresno we could catch every now and then. I think Channel 58 was out of Fresno.
Yeah,
or
Channel
something.
2, San Francisco.
30 was like Modesto, 40 was Sacramento.
All over the place, right? So, but now these are worldwide videos. I mean, with some restrictions, of course, right? Like North Korea doesn't even have internet, right? So we're not getting too much out of there. But everybody can be on a channel now. Now, do I have to make money? Do I have to structure it? No. But if you're passionate about what you do, or you have something to say, whatever it is, and you post it, your people will follow you. People
tell a story.
Will watch you. So tell a story.
Just tell a story.
Whatever it is, whatever that is you can do, just document it. How did you do that? I mow my lawn. I mow my lawn this way. I do it this way, blah, blah, blah. If you're into that. Well, if you have a regular 9-to-5 job and you're just kind of an average person, document that shit. This is what I do. Hi, my name is Jim.
Traffic every morning, and this is,
Yeah. And people will,
there's definitely someone live streaming in traffic every day.
Can't stress.
So we could have live streamed traffic. Can you imagine if we had a dash cam pointing both directions in traffic when we used to commute in the 90s?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That would have been
just
sick.
me commuting not too long, a couple decades ago. It's like a zoo, Everybody's in their own
Just
cages.
the flat tires. Just the sheer number of flat tires we changed, like a NASCAR pit crew.
Right.
During fucking rush hour traffic, Lawrence, our YouTube channel.
So I wanted to say something real quick about TV and YouTube. So arguably the biggest creator on YouTube is Mr. Beast, which most people, he's almost mainstream now to where most people have heard. So I don't know what kind of numbers the Super Bowl gets. Do you guys know? And that's like the most watched televised event next to maybe like Seinfeld or whatever.
Right.
Do you know what those numbers are? Even if you had to get, it was ridiculous numbers, right?
Yeah.
So we'll say tens, millions, maybe even 100
like
million.
42 million people watch the Super Bowl. Is that what you're asking?
How many people
Yes.
watch the Super Bowl? Let's ask.
Because as you were saying, it's like not that many people really watch TV, and YouTube's bigger than TV. If we get some numbers here, this will be an interesting.
123 million.
Watch the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl. That's the most watched thing on television.
One day a year.
Yep. 3 hours of TV.
All right. So this guy here, Mr. Beast. Now, I mean, he's not the god, but he's the guy doing it.
Yeah. He's got it figured out.
He's top 2 videos, dude. I mean, are over 1,000 million. What is that? Is that a billion?
It's a billion.
Yeah,
Over a billion. So right here, 2 years ago, this video has 607 million views and growing.
Yeah.
His second most popular video has 435 million views and growing. These are 2-year-old videos. So they're doing 10 times that.
Yeah.
And people are still watching it.
And they're still watching
They're still watching it. I guarantee you 500 million people aren't watching Super Bowl 17.
Yeah.
No.
Nope.
I mean, you might be able to get some of the old Bears games
Super Bowl
and rent a movie theater and pack it with some Bears fans maybe, but I mean, The numbers don't lie, dude. I mean, yeah, a lot of those are. I mean, that's 400 million.
Yeah.
Well, like you were talking about, taking care of the next generation. Like this is, you better get in front of these kids because this is how they're doing stuff, man. Like,
and it's free, dude. Before you had to pay a commercial or pay for a newspaper
and you had to
ad.
have an agent, and you had to have there were all these barriers to everything, to making music, to being on TV, to everything.
Industry, like service industry guys, what do you print like on little door? I mean, I don't even know. Like, it's crazy. Like, every way of marketing your business, whatever type of business it was, is literally free exposure here to like millions of people. You know, TikTok's really good. It's local. When we go out of town, I'm guilty of using TikTok mostly when we travel to find places to eat or like attractions.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you could go to TripAdvisor or whatever on Google. It's going to give you some AI fucking response. But if you go to TikTok, there's real people being like, hey, if you come here, don't go where everyone else goes.
Fucking food.
Go
eat first.
here. Yeah, eat this place, or come here. This is where it's cheaper. So it's just like, TikTok's, they got to fucking figure it out, dude. And that's why America's freaking out. And they're like, hey, you got to sell this to an American company, y'all motherfuckers, because I'll figure this shit out.
Yeah.
And we need to know what the secret sauce is. You have too much influence over our fucking...
They do.
Over our citizens, you know, and they want to backwards engineer that. I think that's the real reason.
Probably.
Right.
Like, I believe in all this conspiracy stuff too, but I'm like, it's probably just like they're pissed off. Like, fuck, they got
probably just because they want it.
You know?
Yeah,
and they want to make
you
money.
made it better than us, so we're gonna buy it.
Yeah, we're just gonna take
or we're gonna have war with you.
Yeah, hey, remember
war.
Remember.
Well, I want to say thank you very much for coming out and giving up all this hard-earned advice, man.
Yeah, I don't know if did I give
work.
Did I give advice? I hope so.
I mean, you did. I mean, because here's the thing, right? If any of our listeners had ever thought about doing it, one, we're doing it. Two, you have been doing it, and you just made it sound. You kind of normalized a lot of stuff. Like, you know, the biggest fear is success or failure or uncertainty.
Yeah.
Right.
But
not knowing. Right. So I don't know. And then like the thought of maybe being embarrassed if nobody watches your content is a showstopper.
What does that mean? Who cares? If no
is a
one watches
showstopper.
Yeah.
But then that's what motivated me to. And so that was a barrier until I ran into Gary Vee.
Yeah.
Create your content. Your people will follow you. Right? Your people will find you. And that's exactly what happened. We're 2 years in now, right?
Yeah.
Just under 2 years in now, we have a good following. We have a lot of listeners. We have a lot of faithful folks that, you know, that will chime in on our social media. They listen to the podcast so much, right?
So cool, dude.
So, I mean, it's true. It's real. So if there's any of our listeners out there that have wanted to do it, you know, do it. Do it. If you have questions, right, hit us up on social media. And Tim, I'm going to put some links in, and I'll put some stuff up in the back. But
hit me up, man.
Hit up Tim.
DMs. I don't mind helping.
Hit him up on his. Why don't you plug yourself real quick? Give us your social medias. Give us your YouTubes and.
So you can find me on like Instagram. It's just it's Tymo. So ITSTYMO, and on YouTube it's just my name, Tym O'Laughlin. And I spell my name with a Y. There's a story behind that, but maybe it's a different day. But yeah, Tym O'Laughlin. And then my painting channel is Tymo Paints.
Tymo Paints. TYMO Paints. And that's the one that Gen X follows. And we were checking that one out. And you know what? Again, it's...
Tyler Morgan is coming up.
It's not
Tymo,
so much
Tyler
about...
Morgan.
It's Tymo. It's Tyler Morgan.
T-Y.
Oh, if you do at... Or I'm sorry, my bad. So do at I am Tymo, all one word. But you got to put the at symbol in front of it. It should bring everything up. Cause I used to use that as a lot when it would ask like what your handle is. It would do I am Tymo.
There it is.
There you go. And from there,
I can follow you from the.
You can do a rabbit hole from there. I mean, they got a lot of music channels.
Yeah, you got the link tree.
Yeah, Exo Tymo is like my solo acoustic stuff, and I don't know. It's on there. You can find it all through there.
It's all on there.
It's all on there.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday, bro.
In real time.
Very much.
In real time. So it was yesterday.
It was yesterday.
So we're
So you were going to be here on your birthday, but I had to cancel.
Yeah,
so I was going to a big show.
Oh, what show?
I went to see. Holy crap! I just blanked his name.
Oh, is it a country singer?
Not
No, Christian singer.
not the
Chris
brother
Tomlin.
of
Oh,
Lily
Christian.
Tomlin.
You said
Yeah,
Christian.
Christian.
I was thinking of, what was it? DC Talk. You guys remember DC Talk back in the day?
I don't.
Like Christian, like Backstreet Boys kind of type band or whatever.
No.
No?
This guy's kind of like the Garth Brooks of Christian music. He's been doing it for 25 years. He's got like 20 albums and he's been touring forever. And
There's a lot of those, a lot of original like Christian artists have been coming out, and that's cool, man. I like that.
yeah, it was cool. Great show.
Right on. Right on. That's going to do it for us tonight.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you again
thanks
for coming
for-
out. Happy birthday. Thanks for
Thanks
coming
for
out.
letting me
Yeah.
push my way onto the show.
No, I
Yeah.
appreciate
yeah.
it. And you're going to stick
Come on
around
in.
and kind of walk us through some more of this. So
Yeah.
shout out. We're not sure what to do and how to act with cameras yet. Should we always talk to them? We'll figure
I don't
that
know what to
shit
do
out.
with my hands.
I don't know.
what to do with my
We'll
hands.
just do this.
I don't know. What to
Wait till you guys see what I put in the background.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to be
Just wait
flying
till
through
you see.
space. So this
Just
is gonna
wait till
be
you
cool.
see.
You guys will see it before I see it.
All right. So thank you guys again. A shout out to all of our listeners. We appreciate each and every one of you guys. And that's going to do it for us. My name is Jason.
And I'm Greg.
And I'm Tymo.
Peace out, guys. Late. I was emphasizing the high notes. Could you tell? Yeah, I was.
That's the DJ in you.
I was doing that.
Can't help yourself.
And I was like pushing like DJ Force onto the button, so it was even more.
It was
Yeah,
extra.
It was extra.
It was the 11.
It was. Admit it. At least one time you've tried to use the Force
It was the 11.
on that meme. I've seen that shit. I love
You know what
Only
the-
because of Kevin Smith.